The air in the apartment was thick with the scent of burnt coffee and unspoken words when I found a note tucked beneath the edge of a favorite mug, its chipped rim still warm from her lips. I'm not ready to commit, but please wait for me. It read, her handwriting jagged, as if the pen had fought her grip. My chest tightened, a fist of betrayal squeezing my lungs. I stood frozen in our cramped kitchen, the hum of the fridge mocking the silence she'd left behind. Sarah had been gone for 3 hours, her suitcase missing from the closet, and now this plea, this coward's exit. I smiled, a reflex of massive fractures splitting my heart, and said aloud to no one, "Okay, I'll wait." But the words tasted like ash. The living room felt alien without her, its corners sharp with memories. The couch where we'd binge old movies, her laughter spilling like sunlight, now sagged under the weight of her absence. I sank into it. The note crumpled in my fist and let my eyes wander to the bookshelf. Her novels, dog-eared thrillers she'd read aloud, her voice teasing out suspense, stood untouched, but something was off. A gap where her journal used to be. My pulse quickened. She'd always guarded that journal, snapping it shut when I got too close, her smile tight with secrets. Had she taken it? Or was it hidden, a breadcrumb to her truth? I tore through the apartment, rationality fraying. Drawers yanked open, spilling socks and receipts. Her closet, half empty, smelled faintly of her lavender perfume. No journal. My fingers brushed the edge of a nightstand, and there, beneath a stack of unpaid bills, was a phone, forgotten or perhaps abandoned. The screen lit up with a swipe, no password. My stomach churned. This wasn't me, this invasion. But the note's plea, "Wait for me," echoed like a taunt. I opened her messages. The first thread was with me, heart emojis and plan for a weekend getaway. Below it, a name, Ethan. My breath caught. Ethan, her co-worker, the one she called just a friend when I'd tease about his late-night texts. I scrolled, each message a shard of glass. "Can't stop thinking about last night," he'd written 2 weeks ago. Her reply, "Me neither, but we need be careful." My vision blurred, the words searing into my brain. Last night, the night she claimed a work dinner ran late, her cheeks flushed when she'd slipped into bed, blaming wine and exhaustion. I dropped the phone, its clatter against the hardwood deafening. My mind spiraled, replaying every moment I dismissed, her late nights, her distracted smiles, the way she'd pull away when I reached for her. Had I been blind, or had I chosen not to see? The apartment walls seemed to pulse, closing in with every heartbeat. I stumbled to the window, yanking it open to gulp the cold October air. The city below buzzed with life, car horns, distant laughter, but I was a ghost, untethered, betrayed. "Why didn't you just tell me?" I whispered, the question dissolving into the night. I wanted to scream, to shatter the silence, but instead I sat, the note still clutched in my hand. Her words, "Please, wait for me," felt like a cruel riddle. Wait for what? For her to choose me over him? For her to come back and pretend nothing had changed? Anger surged, hot and reckless, but beneath it, love lingered, stubborn and raw. I hated her for this, but I hated myself more for still wanting her. The next morning, the apartment was a crime scene of my own making, disheveled drawers, scattered papers. I hadn't slept. My phone buzzed with a text from her. "I'm okay. Just need space. I'll explain soon." No apology, no clarity. I typed a dozen replies, accusations, pleas, demands, but sent none. Instead, I called Ethan's number, pulled from her phone. My hand shook as it rang. "Hello." His voice was smooth, unsuspecting. "It's David," I said, my tone steady despite the storm inside. "Sarah's fiancé." A pause, heavy with guilt. "Oh, hey, man, what's up?" Too casual, too practiced. "I know," I said simply. The line went quiet, the silence a confession. "How long?" He sighed, the sound of a man caught. "A few months. It just happened. She said you two were struggling." Struggling? We'd fought, sure, about dishes or schedules, but struggling? The word felt like a lie she'd fed him, or maybe one I'd fed myself. She left me a note. I said, my voice cracking, told me to wait. Another pause. She's confused, David. She loves you, but... Don't. I cut him off. Don't speak for her. I hung up, my chest heaving. The truth was a blade, and every word from Ethan twisted it deeper. Days blurred into nights, each one a battle between rage and longing. I stopped going to work, ignored calls from friends. The apartment became a prison of memories, her scarf on the hook, her coffee mug still on the counter. I kept her phone charged, torturing myself with her messages, piecing together a timeline of deceit. A photo from Ethan, timestamped a month ago. Sarah, laughing in a bar, her hand on his arm. I hadn't seen her laugh like that in months. Then, a week later, she came back. The key turned in the lock, and there she was, suitcase in hand, her eyes red-rimmed and wary. "David," she said, her voice soft, like she was approaching a wounded animal. "Can we talk?" I stood, the note still in my pocket, worn from days of handling. "I found your phone," I said, watching her face pale. "I know about Ethan." Her shoulders slumped, guilt etching lines into her face. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she said, tears spilling. "I was scared. We were moving so fast, engagement, the wedding plans, and I panicked. Panicked." My voice rose, sharp and raw. "You didn't panic, Sarah. You chose him, over and over." "I didn't choose him," she cried, stepping closer. "I was lost, David. I love you, but I wasn't sure I was ready. Ethan was a mistake, a way to feel something else." Her words were a lifeline and a noose. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the love we'd built, but the image of her with him burned behind my eyes. "You asked me to wait," I said, pulling the note from my pocket. What was I waiting for? For you to decide if I was enough. She sobbed, reaching for me, but I stepped back. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I ended it with him. I want us." The room spun, her words a collision of hope and pain. I looked at her, her trembling hands, her desperate eyes, and saw the woman I'd loved, but also a stranger. "I waited," I said, my voice hollow, "but I don't know if I can trust you again." She froze, the weight of my words settling between us. I walked past her, out the door, the note falling to the floor. The city swallowed me, its noise drowning out her cries. I didn't know if I was leaving forever or just for now, but as I stepped into the cold, one truth anchored me: waiting hadn't saved us. It had only delayed the end.